Yeah, it's one of my favorite stops on tour. Love the property and the facilities and everything that goes with this week. So excited to be back.
We'll go ahead and open up to questions. Start with Gary. Yes, please wait for a microphone. They're coming.
That's a journey. I can meet her halfway. Oh, look at that.
Xander, Jay was in here earlier today, and he said he believes he has the support of the board, and I am the right person to lead us forward. I believe that in my heart. Given the recent agreement with the Strategic Sports Group, do you have confidence in Jay going forward?
I guess we'll start with the easy ones. Yeah, I mean, you know what I've said in the past on how I feel about it. Trust is something that's pretty tender. So words are words, and I'd say in my book, he's got a long way to go. He could be the guy, but in my book, he's got a long way to go to gain the trust of the membership. I'm sure he's got the support of the board since they were with him making some of those decisions. But for me personally, he's got quite a ways to go.
We'll move on down the line here. Go ahead.
Yes, Clayton Freeman, Florida Times Union. I know when you first stopped here, you tied for second 5 years ago. Since then, what do you feel is the biggest challenge you've encountered here on this course? Obviously, it's been more of a rocky road since then here for you. Yeah,
they moved the tournament to a different time of year. Completely different property, to be completely honest. Back in May, I believe, is when it was. It was firm, fast. The greens weren't overseed. They were just Bermuda. The place got brown. It got sketchy. Balls were rolling all over the place. So now it's green, it's lush, softer, slower, super thick rough, not Bermuda, rye overseed, or whichever you call it. And I could be wrong with that one, but it's just a completely different property. So just need to adjust to the play style, and I know I can do it. I just need to do it.
Other questions? We can go to Dan right here first. Sorry, right here in the front row. And then right behind him can go next. Thank you.
With the state of golf and players playing on different tours, do you feel like there's added emphasis on the major championships?
Considering that it brings everyone together?
Yeah.
Maybe for a viewer. For me, it's pretty similar. A major championship's a major championship, and I don't see myself preparing or thinking about it any different than I did prior to the splitting of tours.
I guess the better way to ask it is, do the tour events feel a little different now?
I mean, you just see less. I just see less of the guys that I'm used to seeing when I first came out on tour. So that aspect's different, but my day-to-day is pretty much the same. Still trying to prepare and win these events like I was prior.
Xander, you've been doing a little work with Chris Como recently. Mm-hmm. Just wondering how that came about and what you guys are working through.
Yeah, I've actually known Chris for quite some time. One of my buddies back home in San Diego, he sought out Chris's help 2010, maybe 2009, 2010. So he would go see Chris in Dallas, and I'd FaceTime my buddy, and Chris would be there, and so became kind of I've just known of him and known him for quite some time, and I've always liked Chris, and he's in West Palm, and I just moved over there, so it was a pretty easy meetup, and I think things have been going pretty well.
Is there anything like he's keying in on in your swing, or what are the advice that you're kind of getting from him?
Yeah, it's a trickle. I think he's learning that I can be a bit, I wouldn't call myself a head case, but a little too technical at times. So he's just, it's a great song. It's a bit of a trickle in terms of information, but we're sort of still, working through, how he wants to feed me information. But for the most part, kind of, looked at my swing since I've been on tour, from 17 up until now, and sort of how it's changed, and sort of what he liked then and what he liked now, and vice versa. So, I think he sort of understands my sort of release pattern and just kind of wants to unlock that potential.
Can we get that microphone back to Kathy in the row right behind you? Thank you.
Xander, you've won a tour championship. You've won the Olympics. Those are big events. You've been on Ryder Cups. Is the Players a bigger step than any of those? And there are a lot of people that it would be a life-changing event for, but you've been so successful already that I don't know that it would change your life.
Yeah, I mean, yes, it would be a very big thing to me personally. There's so much I want to accomplish in the game, so anytime I can check off a really big box, or any box for that matter, in this game is special to me and my team. So in terms of like changing my life, I'm not sure, to be honest. I feel like I'm the same guy before I won the Olympics or won the gold medal at the Olympics. So, but yeah, the Players is definitely something I want to win.
We'll come right here and then come to you, Ryan.
Xander, do you think the status of this event is compromised in any way by the current situation, which means that the Masters champion, the US PGA champion aren't part of the field here?
I don't think it helps the tournament. Yeah, I mean, I think you'd like to have those players playing in an ideal world, but I mean, I feel like we're sort of beating a dead horse in this media room a little bit. The few times I click on the golf to read it, we're definitely beating a dead horse, in my opinion. I mean, everyone kind of knew what was going to happen when they made a decision, and this was probably the highest probability chance of the outcome, which is to have people on different tours at the time. So I know the guys are working on getting everyone back together, but in the meantime, I'm kind of on the page of it is what it is.
We'll go to Ryan first, and then we'll come back center.
Xander, just to follow up on the question about Chris, how do you keep that new dynamic from changing, which was a bigger relationship with your dad being your swing coach, and letting that kind of filter into that relationship?
Yeah, I mean, Chris and my dad, spoke. They've also known each other for a bit of time, and from a similar approach, I guess, of just trying to not do anything that doesn't feel natural to me, or force the club, or have a feel that isn't sort of sound in my game. They're sort of similar in that sense. So I ask a lot of questions, and that may lead to too much information at times. And like I said before, I think Chris is just trying to put me on a slow feeder at the moment.
From a human level, is it hard to shift full time away from your dad?
I still talk to my dad all the time. It's not like I don't. My dad, from a very young age, my dad told me, he's like, happy that I can be your coach, but there's a time, there might be a time where, in order for you to take it to the next level, you may need to go see someone else. So he said those words to me when I was a kid, and he'll still say them now. So having his trust and, his loyalty there, there's not much of a burden, on my plate, fortunately for me.
Go ahead. Back center.
Xander, Camilo Villegas was elected as the new chairman of the Players Advisory Council. What are your thoughts on this, and how do you anticipate his involvement in this council?
I think it's great. Camilo is someone that I've watched play for a very long time. So I think it's nice to have. I think when you look at a board or a council, you kind of want a little bit of everything in there, and I think Camilo will bring that sort of elderly experience factor in that someone younger might miss.
Gary?
Xander, no intention on jinxing you in any way here, but
Don't say it.
what goes into making 41 cuts in a row out here as competitive as it can get, and you're not ducking the big tournaments, you're not cherry picking a whole lot. So what is in somebody's game to make that many cuts in a row to be that consistent?
Commentator's curse, here it is, huh? No, just playing, not thinking about it too much, to be honest. I play to win, and I don't play to make cuts, so it makes it easier to make the cut when you're playing to win, I think, and when you're up sort of near the top of a leaderboard often. But I think most of my big grinds on tour have been some epic cuts that I've made, just pulling something out of my hat at the last second, whether it's making a putt or holing a shot from 175 yards or something of that nature. So just trying my best every time I tee it up.
Alex?
Yeah, Xander, understanding that we're a little focused on the live thing, and obviously you came in right after Jay. When you talk about it first, do you think the board is representative of what the players are thinking?
Which, the board as a whole, or like the player directors and independent directors?
Yes. No, not the independent directors, but the player directors.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say I would imagine the player directors have our best interest and have been trying to navigate this space to the best of their ability.
And the other end of this equation is, what do you want either Jay to do or the board to do that would make you feel good about the situation?
I haven't really put a whole lot of thought, honestly, into what would make me feel good when it comes to that whole thing. I've really said it in Maui, really put my head in the sand is what I said then, and what would make me feel good is to raise this trophy on Sunday. I haven't really thought too much about how to alleviate the pains of an entire membership.
Alex, do you mind passing the microphone right behind you to the blue? Yep.
Hi, Xander. Jay was very hazy on certain details beyond saying that progress was being made. Obviously, there's been a lot said about transparency. Are you hearing any more from a player's point of view than perhaps we're being told in here?
To be completely honest, I would consider myself pretty uninformed. Haven't really sought out a whole lot of information just because, when I felt like I didn't get any. And I'm a pro golfer at the end of the day, so I have to hope that things can go well at some point. But I have seriously no details or extra facts to throw out to you. And if I did, I don't know if I would tell you, to be completely honest.
We'll go back to Dan.
It feels like Scottie's put some distance between himself and everybody else with the way he's playing. Do you feel like he's the guy that you're all chasing right now?
Yes.
And is it does it feel like a challenge, an uphill battle if he gets that putter working?
Yes.
Asked and answered.
Go ahead.
Xander, I know you said you've tried to keep your head in the sand and decouple yourself from what's going on. That being said, though, given that so much is going on, has it been challenging to find joy coming to work, given all these weighty things being discussed?
It's actually not a terrible question. I love my job. I love playing golf. So for me to come and work and mess up and then try again or hit a good shot and try and validate it, to me it's the best job in the world. So if you start poking around and not and you can't get any answers, I can imagine you can make your working environment pretty terrible. So I think it's sort of how you go about it. And fortunately for me, I have trust in some of the people that are leading us and hoping for a good outcome. And in the meantime, just trying to play the best golf I can play.
If we could do the final question for Gene. Right behind you here in the visor.
It's hard for a lot of people to believe Tiger hasn't been out here playing at all for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And some people felt like he would come out here this year as a preparation for Augusta. How much, as a competitor, do you miss him not just specifically not being here, but just at other places in general, just knowing it's winding down for him?
Yeah. I like to look at it sort of half full. I feel like coming out, you never know how someone's career is going to go. And, he kind of had a rough go for a little bit with his body and everything. So, I think to see him win the Masters, to see him win at East Lake, I find myself very fortunate, and I think all the golf fans should as well. And if there's anyone that's going to talk about putting their head in the sand and find some way to win another golf tournament, I imagine it'd be him. So being his competitor, I pull for him pretty hard, and he's kind of the heartbeat of golf, in my opinion. And anytime he tees it up, it's a spectacle.
Perfect. Thank you for the time. Good luck this week.
Thank you.